he would tell me, this is where we are right now. Our God chose us to take care of your dad. Snap out of it. It was hard truths.
So what happens when the roles you play get flipped upside down? When you become the parent to your own parents? As my parents get older, I see this change happening in real time. Suddenly, I'm checking in on them, going to their doctor's appointments, making sure that they take their medicine, and trying to understand why my dad can't see people waving at him anymore. And that's why I wanted to talk to my friend Bernie, whose life changed practically overnight. After her mom passed away suddenly, she became her dad's full-time caregiver, juggling being a wife, a mother, and a daughter all at once. This is a conversation about that messy, beautiful journey of caring for the people who once cared for us, about finding strength in the exhaustion, grace in the frustration, and unexpected gifts in the hardest moments. On this episode, we get real about the sandwich generation. I'm Aliu Garcia Pablo, and you're listening to Making Changes, a podcast about changes we go through and the life lessons we learn along the way, but always with God by our side. So Bernie, preparing for this interview, I was trying to figure out, how long have we known each other, right? From this picture of us. You can zoom in and stuff.
Oh, I remember that jacket.
Yes.
I saved up my money to go to BB's. For
I
those who
remember
don't know,
BB's.
right? Thinking I was somebody. How old?
So that's around 1996, 97.
Okay.
Yeah. We were in Vallejo.
Vallejo,
My dad
right?
was a resident minister there.
Yeah.
And so this was, I think, with the CWS officers, the Children's Worship Service officers. But I was looking at this because we were in our early 20s.
Yes.
And I just thought, gosh, that was so long ago. But also how quick time just flew by.
Yeah.
But I just, we were just these girls who were just, all thinking about a cute jacket and just, making sure we look cute. And it's just how fast time has flown. I know that you've gone through a lot of changes in the last few years.
I have.
And when we decided that we were going to talk about aging parents, you were the first one that came to mind.
Oh.
So I just want to tell you thank you for willingness, for wanting to sit down and share your story. So let's start from a couple of years ago. It was the one major change that happened during the pandemic, actually.
During the pandemic, I get a call, and it's my dad, and he's like, "Hey, your mom, she was taking dialysis, but something happened. She lost consciousness, and we have to meet at the hospital." By the time I left my home and on our way to the hospital, I got another call, and it's my dad's telling me that my mom passed away suddenly. It was something that we were not expecting. So that was the change, and along with that, I clearly remember the day that my mom passed away. At the same time, automatic decision, Dad, you're going to stay with me. He still had the house, still lived there, but I didn't think it was a good idea for my dad to be alone. I mean, mind you, he's been with my mom for so long, and they did everything together, everything, all the time. So for my dad to lose his partners, his best friend, his everything so quickly, not expecting it, I couldn't imagine him being by himself. And
grieving alone.
I couldn't. So that day after we came from the hospital, we went home, packed just a few bags, and took him home with me, and that was it.
So two major changes in your life.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
We didn't even discuss. It was just like we just took my dad.
You didn't tell your husband, Jerry?
We taking his bag. We're just taking his bag, and we're gonna, and my dad stayed with us.
Yeah.
But, also my dad missed his home. So
And independence, I would think.
independent. So I told him, let's make a deal, because I I want you to still feel independent, but how's about we do a few days at a time?
There you go. Transition it
Slowly,
slowly. Yeah.
slowly. So, it went from like, a week, and then it slowly started becoming shorter, just because as he got older, you hear these things like they fell.
Yeah.
No one's there.
Yes. Yes.
And eating McDonald's every day.
Because your mom's not there to cook
My
for
mom's not there
him.
to cook, but they also, they went out, but my mom's like, let's go try this. Let's go try that. My dad was like, 2 cheeseburgers, large fries, and a soda. Thank you. Right? So,
As long as he was eating.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, your swollen feet says otherwise, sir. So let's not do that.
Yeah.
And then it started coming to the point where he was with us full time.
Yeah. Before your mom passed away, was your dad still pretty physically strong?
Oh, yeah.
And
They were like, where are you at? Oh, we're in where did they say, like, they like to go to Vegas a lot because they like to watch shows. Okay, you didn't tell me. Because we get to that point where, like, if parents don't tell where you're at, you don't answer the phone call, right?
Yeah.
But they were just doing their thing.
Yeah.
They were doing their walks, and they went to church every single day.
Yeah.
Did their work, all that. They were doing their thing.
So, with your dad, I remember your dad, Brother Steve Sabai. Your dad was just everywhere. He was in bowling.
Yeah, bowling.
But your dad, both of your parents, their whole lives was really serving.
Yes.
And that's what they were always at the chapel.
Yes.
That's what gave them happiness, and perhaps that's what kept them strong.
Yes. That was their joy. That was their everything. They gave up going to even family gatherings, all that, because they love their duty. They love to serve. And, when you say it like that, Aliu, growing up, sometimes you feel like, man, we can't go to this because my parents said that they can't make it or whatever. But realizing that was their joy.
That was their joy.
I was hoping it was my brother and I, but
it was a different kind of joy.
It was a different kind of joy, but no, it was their joy. And I couldn't, because it started getting to the point where we were kind of like, maybe it's time for you to slow down and retire. And how selfish of I was to ask that of my parents when that was their joy, because they were both retired. That's what they did.
Retire from their duties?
From their jobs.
From their jobs.
So this was their job now. This was their duty. This was their joy. This was their everything. We had to tell them, you got to have some balance. You got to have your, husband and wife time. But my mom was like, we do. Like, he folds pamphlets at church. He
While I'm doing my secretarial work?
He helps me staple stuff and files things. We're perfectly fine.
We're together all the time.
But what I meant is, like, out for dinner. And when you're together with someone so long, and that's your ride or die.
You were saying that your version of spending time together was like, go out to dinner, but they're from a different generation, different era.
Watching TV together was their thing.
Yeah.
On the weekends, my mom really wanted the house to be clean, so they made an event out of it. They would garden together, those little things, cooking together. When my mom cooked, my dad would be her sous chef. So it's those little things, that's what they liked. It wasn't always about, like, let's go watch shows. They don't even go out and watch movies and anything like that. We're together, and that's good enough. I'm like, okay.
I'm looking at you as you tell the story. It sounds like it's a really childhood core memory for you.
Yes.
But it's so simple.
Very simple. It's not always about
spending money and going
spending
out.
money and all that.
So now your dad is living with you. What did those changes look like?
When my dad first moved in, we have a 3-bedroom house. We had to move things out, rearrange the 3rd bedroom, and having to also explain to my son, because my son was thinking, oh, it's just a sleepover, grandpa's staying. And then slowly we start to realize this is going to be permanent. So changing the house and making it parent-proof, I guess.
Yeah. Instead of child-proof.
Instead of child-proof.
Senior-proof.
senior proof. So
Yeah.
it's like as time progressed, and as my dad's memory also started
Mm.
going and he started wandering a little bit, we had to put additional locks.
Mm.
We had to put things on the doorknob so he couldn't, because there had been situations where my dad would, one time he was in his room and he thought he was going one place, but he
Mm.
was actually going out of the door into our garage. And there's three
Oh,
big steps. So if he missed those steps, which
that's
he
it.
almost
Yeah.
had one
Oh,
time, be
that's a
terrible.
fall. Yeah.
It's a fall. So we had to put things on the doorknob where he couldn't
Mm.
get out in the middle of the night, because it did happen at night.
Mm.
Things like that. So those were the changes, and then changes of how, I was always thinking, my dad, I don't want it to be too noisy for my dad, you
Mm.
know. So sometimes I started telling my son, okay, don't scream too much because grandpa.
Mm.
But then I realized that my dad loved it.
Mm. Oh, your dad loved the
He was
noise.
like, he loved the
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
And I think about that and
Yeah.
I'm like, because it feels like things are happening, things are
Mm.
going on. And then changes of even how we eat. We can't be having all them fried foods, inviting gout, which is the Filipino
Oh,
man's
yes. Asian
burden,
disease.
right?
The Asian male disease.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's having to feed him, help care for him hygiene wise, and also just keeping him company,
Yeah.
talking to him, because I had to look at my dad. I'm like, man, he lost his partner.
Mm.
And this was the person he was talking to all the
Every
time,
day. Yeah.
So I had to switch my conversations. Like, man, like I never thought I'd see my dad, like he and I having these
Mm-hmm.
conversations of just life. Because before it was like, hey, dad, do you need anything? Mom, do you
Transactional.
very
Yes, before.
transactional.
Yeah.
Now it's just like he started telling
Yeah.
me stories about him
Oh.
and my mom and how we were as kids. So all those little things started
Yeah.
slowly happening, and being more aware, like slowly seeing my dad, get older,
Mm.
and you're physically seeing it, seeing their memory kind of start going. Those are the challenges. And then you try to be patient. Patience is what, we pray for it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And God's going to be like, oh, I will teach you. Watch.
You want to learn? I'm going to teach
You
you.
about to learn with a T. So those were some of the things. Just try, and then having Jojo understand that grandpa, my son,
Mm-hmm.
was going to be staying with us for quite a long time.
And that the grandpa he knew is changing.
It was changing, which was hard for him.
Yeah.
At the same time, we were trying to put it as, you're going to be with us. You got your grandkids. You get to see your grandkids grow up, Dad. But at the same time, seeing this person who is constantly active all
Yes.
the time, little by little, day by day, their independence is slowly disappearing. It's very hard to see, especially when you know that your parent is active.
Yesterday, I actually had to go take my parents to an appointment, and sitting there in the doctor's office, and the doctor telling my dad his glaucoma is getting bad, and he, and I'm like, well, that's why when someone says hi to him, because he can't see
He
them,
can't see. My dad had glaucoma too.
and it is a very glaucoma and cataract, right?
Same.
But I got permission from my parents this morning to talk about this, but my dad was also diagnosed with dementia a year ago. And as you're talking about your dad, he was just always talking to everybody. And, my dad is a retired minister, right? People go up to him, oh, Coverbed, do you remember? But he doesn't, right? But there's so many feelings with that.
Yes.
There's the shame, there's the the discomfort to say they are no longer, they no longer have the same social skills that they once had.
When my dad moved in with us, the majority of the neighbors, they've been there just longer, even longer than my dad. So they were sad to see my dad not be there, because my dad would be like, hey, everybody, how you doing? And
Oh. This is your house in Vallejo.
Yes. There was this one particular
Oh.
guy that literally lived right behind us. They talked all the time. And then when we would drop him off to stay at the house for a few days, I would find out these two are rolling around town, going to Costco, going to Walmart, going to Target, having a coffee. And I'm like, you need, and all of a sudden it went, and he would talk to his neighbor all the time on the phone when he lived with us. And then when he didn't want to talk to him anymore, he didn't want to talk. Basically, it was my son, my husband, and I, my brother, were the ones that's all that mattered to him. Those were his people now.
Because he was just comfortable
He
there.
was
It
just
didn't have to
comfortable.
try.
You didn't have to try, and he didn't have to like, I don't know
the
if I want to
energy.
carry on a conversation with you for the next 30 minutes.
Sometimes it's hard to accept the change. So you're still trying. I mean, I know with me and my dad, it would give him talking points, because I wanted him to get back to who he was before. At which point did you get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm not going to try and push him, but he's changed and I have to accept it.
Brethren would always come to, oh, Brother Steve, da da da, and he'd play it off really good. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that, but he'd be like, oh, I'm good, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
As soon as we get home,
Who's that?
I just said that. How's your daughter? I didn't even know if he had one, and I'm like, bless whoever's heart that was that just played along with it. And I go, oh, that's so and so, but then.
It's so funny you said that, because I would tell my dad if someone says, oh, hello, how are you? The next thing you should say is, how's your family? Because it's very general.
Very general.
Right?
So there was a lot of things that he could not do anymore.
Right. And he knew it.
And he knew it, which led to a little bit of depression. And that broke my heart because, this was a person that gardened all the time. He got to the point where like, I just want to sit outside, cup of coffee, and pretend to read the newspaper because he couldn't see, but he just wanted that feeling of holding something, of looking at something. And even that, he didn't want to do anymore. He just kind of wanted to sit in his room in the quiet. And I started to realize, I think he's just waiting. And it started getting to the point too where he would tell me, in the midst of our talking and laughing, he would also say, Anak, I'm ready. I'm tired. And as hard as to hear that, I understood it. So I had to make it my goal is how comfortable can I make it be? What music do you want to listen to some music? You tell me what music you listen to. I'll put it on. You want quiet? I'll give you that. What do you want? And whatever my dad wanted, aside from me pushing him to be social or to do any of that, he just wanted peace. And he wanted to make sure that all of us, my family, my brother's family, was okay. And as soon as he started seeing that we were okay, then I could tell then that's when his body was slowly, just ready to rest. So, I had to accept that and not force anything, on my dad. I just wanted to be peaceful and happy.
You mentioned acceptance.
Yeah.
There's a saying that says that the sooner we accept, we lessen our suffering.
Yes. Yes.
And there are some families that maybe are going through the suffering because the acceptance isn't quite there and they're not able to meet their aging parent to where they are. You, as you were talking about that moment where your dad says, I think I'm ready, tears welled up in your eyes, but you were smiling. Why is that it's such a bittersweet feeling, isn't it?
I know the life my dad lived. He was very active in the church. He did his best to be a very good father. And as you see them age, it's hard to see them go through other ailments. So I was ready for my dad to rest, not in a way where it's just like, oh, I don't got to take care of you more. And it was nothing like that. I'm like, you have worked so hard and so diligently in taking care of our family, which says a lot because after he passed, like my brother and I really didn't have to worry about a lot of things. Paying for like the funeral, all that. It was, they took care of everything. And I knew that. So when I saw, you worked so hard, you lived a good life with my mom, with my brother and I'm okay that you rest because you deserve that rest. You deserve peace. Of course, it's going to be selfish of me to want you to stay here as long as you can because, I want you to see my son grow up, my nephew grow up, college, all that. But if you're telling me you're tired,
Yeah.
and I know how hard you worked, then I'm okay because you've been a loving, great father, great husband, I'm okay for you to rest.
Hey, quick pause. If you're someone who's feeling overwhelmed, caring for your aging parents, you're not alone. There's an episode of The Solution that we'd like you to watch. It's called How to Cope When Caring for Elderly Parents. Daravoy is the guest on this episode. He's a teacher and father of two, and he talks to Brother Donald Pinnock, who's a minister of the gospel in the Church of Christ. Daravoy asks for biblical advice on how to deal with the stress and overwhelm that can come with caregiving. If that speaks to you, take a few minutes to watch. Just head to incmedia.org or check the link in our show notes.
2 months prior to him passing, he really was just like, I'm
Done.
I'm done. So when he started saying that a lot, I had to have a talk with myself. Like, he's ready. Am I ready? I'm ready because he's worked diligently, like I said, taking care of the family, his duties. He would tell me sometimes, Anak, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to do this. And I'm like, I don't want you to apologize. I don't want you to say you're sorry because I want to take care of you. So when my dad started slowly going through that phase of not being able to really take care of himself, he didn't want that for me. He didn't want that for my family because he would always apologize. I'm sorry, Anak, you have to do this. I'm sorry, you have to do. Thank you, Anak, for taking care of me. Thank you for being patient with me. And I would just tell him, Dad, I love you. You and I, we stuck with each other because sometimes, like, Dad, you got to take this medicine. I don't like, because, you start getting to that point.
You're parenting your parent.
I'm parent. And it's different from when it's your child because with your child, you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to have you talk to me like that.
Yeah.
You doing this.
Yeah.
Here, it's like you have to be more gentle and forgiving. And that's the one thing that I have to remind myself, or even when I'm talking to, friends that are going through this similar situation where, oh, my parent doesn't want to do this. My parent, you got to be gentle because their window getting smaller. So I had to be able to embrace all that with grace. So when I started seeing that it was time and accepting it, you're right. When it was time for my dad, when he was in the hospital, I was ready. As much as it was going to hurt me, this time, God has been so kind that he gave me this opportunity with my dad to spend with him because I was super close with my mom. My dad, we were close because in a sense, but like I talked to my mom with all the girl things and all that, but it gave me the opportunity to get to know my dad more. It gave me the opportunity to tell my dad certain things that I couldn't tell, like telling your dad, I love you, right? In our generation, my generation, I love you. Huh? No. It's just not what they did. But I made sure to tell my dad, listen, homie, we're stuck with each other. I love you. Are we going to get on each other's nerves? Probably. But we're in this together. I'm never going to leave you alone. You're never going to be alone.
But do you think there's that level of I I can't be your protector anymore, Bernie. Because now you have to take care of me, but I'm supposed to take care of you
Yeah.
because I'm the dad.
Yeah. I think that was something that he would be vocal about,
Mhm.
where he was that. He was the the go-getter, the everybody knew him and all that, and taking care of us, and then slowly not being able to, almost not be able to do anything, was something that was so hard for my dad to grasp, even to the very end. It's hard to see that, because this is the same man that gave me my whoopings when I deserved it, when I was like not being a good girl, to this person who has become fragile and soft.
So it's almost like this was a chance, like you said, to really get to know your dad. And so despite how hard it really was, there was so much beauty in this time.
You know, I was going through these pictures that I found at my parents' house. And there was one particular picture where he was like 30 something. And my brother and I were still small. But I looked at him and I'm like, look at this cool dude, his little mustache, and and this is my dad in his 30s. And then, and then he would share stories about him when he started sharing stories with both my brother and I about him being single, or getting his first job, or how it was when he was on the boat to come here to America. Gave him more layers of a person,
Of who
who
gave you a better understanding of why he was the way that
he was.
Yeah.
So seeing all that, and sharing those stories with my dad sharing stories with us, stuff we were like, oh, you did that? Oh, you did that? Like, why didn't you tell me you did that? Because it made he, growing up, he was just, like I said, the disciplinary person. I wish that I was able to do that with my mom. And I always encourage everybody that, both their parents are still alive, ask them questions. Did you do this when you grew up? How was that? Because I do that with my son now. So he knows who I am. My husband does it. So my son,
instead of waiting
and people are sharing stories about you, because when my dad passed, so many people shared stories about him that I didn't even know of. So I always tell folks, share stories, or share stories with your kids. Ask stories from your elders. You will find out a lot about not only them, but you'll also find a lot about who you are, why you are the way you are.
Yes. So we've talked a lot about your dad and your mom, but let's talk about you. What this was like for you personally, as a wife, as a mom, as a daughter. We talked a lot what it was like for you as a daughter. So studies show that 54% of midlife Americans are the sandwich generation. They're taking care of an aging parent and young children. And not to mention menopause. Girl, so
Like my menopausal eyes twitch. It's like all of a sudden hot flashes came. I'm like sweating already. Okay.
So all the women listening right now, watching right now, who are in this sandwich generation can totally relate, right? So you've got the stresses of taking care of your dad, your son, your husband. At the same time, your hormones are just out of whack and just out of balance. What does that do to a woman, Bernie?
Let me tell you.
What was that like for you?
I'm surprised my husband is still with me. I will say that. Because you are not thinking straight. You are cranky, sweaty, moody, all that. And quite honestly, thank goodness for my husband being so patient, because he carried a lot of the load, a lot of it, just for me to just be able to take care of my dad, for me to just keep saying. He was really patient. But it was hard because, in between, like, because when you are on, when you're menopausing, you're also losing your hair, which is, that's fun.
That's also because of the stress,
The
though.
stress.
Yeah.
That's fun. High cortisol. Yeah. Good
Yes.
times. So
Yes.
I think, I think at that time, I didn't even realize, am I going through menopause or am I just stressing because I am now a full-time caregiver for my dad? I had to just keep pushing through, sweating through, and just acknowledge this is who I am today. This is who I am now. I had to really dig deep because there were times I wasn't forgiving with myself. There were times because, the schedule for my dad changed as time progressed, as it was slowly coming to an end, where it's like it was more than just taking him to his doctor's appointments. Got to take your medicine.
Taking them to doctor's appointments and keeping track of the medicine. I mean, that is a whole nother
that's a whole
level of another podcast.
That's
right.
Yes.
I mean, I was with my parents yesterday, and because now my sister and I, one of us always has to be with them.
Yep.
Because you can't trust them coming back. The doctor said this because they may have forgotten.
They don't ask questions.
They don't ask questions, or sometimes they can't hear. So it's juggling that aspect of it and making sure that they're remembering their doctor's appointments, because they don't do email, they don't do text.
Oh no,
No.
I was the admin for my dad.
Yes, you're
not just the caregiver, the admin. Took care of the finances.
You were like a nurse.
Yes.
And you were secretary and, all the paperwork and Social Security, all of that stuff.
All of that.
So you weren't working. So you were literally a full-time caregiver.
Full-time caregiver. It started like, getting up at 7 to take care of my son, take him to school, then take care of my dad. And then also being not just a caregiver for my dad, but also being his talking mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, how you doing? What are we talking? What are we watching today? Kind of situation to kind of keep the conversation going, and that he's just not sitting there. But yeah, the medicine, that's the whole taking care of the appointments, because appointments, not like for you and I, we're like, okay, we're going to go like every, quarter.
Yeah.
No, this was like, okay, 2 weeks, we got to do this. And then a week after this. And then after that, you got to, which medicine is this?
Yes. And then when they changed the dosages of their medicine and keeping track of that.
I had to pray first.
Effects. Please
don't let me mess up anything. Don't let me cross medicines.
Yeah.
Medicine look like vitamins, something, So that was another thing.
Yeah. And giving it to them on time.
On time. There was one time my dad was like, I don't like this medicine. Dad, you got to take it. And one time he kept it in the back of his mouth. I'm like, sir, no. And he was like, I go, Dad, I said, you got to help me out. He goes, I know. I'm tired of being poked and prodded, because as you get older, that happens.
Yes.
You're getting poked, prodded, inserted, drawing things out, all that. And he was done with that. So that's another thing, dealing with their mood swings.
And their stubbornness. So I had posted yesterday on social media about, what challenges other people are going through. And one of the things that Leslie from Chicago said, I wasn't prepared for dealing with the stubbornness of my dad.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's because it's a male thing, because I feel like with daughters taking care of their dads, it's a different dynamic, because just like we were talking about, they're the protector. Now we're having to parent them. But also, you have a brother. Do you feel like when it comes to aging parents, it's automatic that it's the daughter that's going to take on that responsibility?
I think sometimes too, it's who the oldest is.
You're the oldest.
For the record, my parents have never, ever put on my brother and I, you better be prepared because you're the one that's going to take care of me, right? You are all, no, they wanted to see us thrive. They wanted us to see, get married, have children, careers, whatever. That's what they want. Build your life. And we'll be cool. Just call us ever so often.
Yeah.
Visit ever so often, and we're good.
How did you share the load with your brother? Like, how did your brother help? Because I know that I've also heard from some people that part of it, to the caregiving part that no one talks about, is if you have other siblings, right? Sometimes resentment builds because it's like, I'm doing all the work. What about you? How are you? I need a break too. How did you and your brother deal with that?
How do I tread this lightly? Um, my husband and I mostly did it all.
Mm.
My brother did take him to his doctor's appointments.
Mm-hmm.
Took him fishing when he could.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also a part where I think my dad, I don't know if it was just my dad, but he was comfortable with my husband and I.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 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 don't bother him. Don't bother him. No, 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 no. We're good here.
Mm.
But sharing I could see where the resentment is, because sometimes, you see, oh, that's great. You're on vacation. Great. Good for you.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
for you. I can't.
You're like, I haven't had a vacation in
I
years.
haven't. Actually, I take that back. We were able to go on a little vacation, Southern California, and my brother took care of my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember my brother would text me and he'd be like, you do this every day?
Mm. He saw it.
You do this every
Yeah.
day? And dad is like stubborn. Yeah. And so it kind of gave a different light to my brother. And then when it started getting to the point where we were like really taking care of my dad, like actually feeding him and,
Mm-hmm.
taking him to the bathroom, changing his bed sores, the bed sores and all that. It was,
Because he's not able to get up anymore.
no,
and,
he
yeah.
wasn't. It was something that was hard for my brother to like, this is what you've been dealing with.
Yeah.
Because my brother would come over and he'd hang out with my dad. But, my husband and I were the ones that took care of the more physical things, because towards the end, we had to like carry my dad to have him use the restroom and bathe him and stuff like that. And it was a really different view of what my brother thought that,
That your dad was. Yeah.
right? To see my
His
dad
state.
in that state where, and seeing how my dad's memory was going. Um, it was different, and sometimes there is resentment there. But thankfully, my brother, towards the end, he was just like, man, even at
Hats
my
off to you.
yeah, at my dad's funeral, my brother, the first thing he said was like, before anything, I want to thank my sister and my brother-in-law.
Oh.
So I said, okay, thank you. Like he gave me my flowers.
Acknowledged
He
it.
gave us
Yeah.
our flowers. So,
Yeah.
but I will say, my husband and I did the majority of it, the really, the hard stuff.
Yeah. The
The
hard stuff. Years ago, when my sister and I weren't even married, my dad would always tell us, make sure when you guys get married, have families, you live near each other. Okay. We just thought, oh, he just wants us to be together. But in hindsight now, it was so prophetic because my sister and I live 3 blocks from each other.
Yeah.
And so we're able to just walk to each other's homes.
Yeah.
And our kids are able to take turns to take them out to exercise, bring them on errands, doctor's appointments. And it is such a blessing to have the help.
Yeah.
Because I can only imagine how lonely and difficult and just depressing it could be day in and day out. So what did Bernie do for Bernie during these times?
Cry in the shower. Thank you. Next question.
Cry in the shower every day.
Right. Cry in the shower. Eat a lot of snacks.
There you go.
I ate my feelings. There, I
Comfort food.
said it. Right. Let me tell you, I did a lot of praying. I know that, I don't know if that, I don't want to say cheesy or
No.
like,
What were your prayers like?
please, God, help me, give me the strength to face each day. Give me the patience that I need. Let me be the daughter that I need to be for my dad. Please help me be the wife that I need to be for my husband. Let me be the mom. Help me be the mom that I need to be for my son. Help me find a way to give grace for myself. Because I was really hard on myself. Like, and there are times where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this anymore. Your time is not your
Anymore,
own.
yeah.
It is literally revolving around caring for your dad. Was there a little resentment there? Just a little bit. Just like,
You're human.
well, why am I going through this? How am I going through this? Am I going to go through this? How long am I going to go through this? All those things, even if they don't really sound that kind, but all these things run through your head like, am I going to be able to, I got to do the same thing tomorrow. I got to, oh, well, I can't go to this because I got to take care of my dad, or I can't stay long because I got to go home. It was a lot of that, but trying not to be resentful, trying to go easy on myself, it affects the dynamics of your family, how you interact with your spouse. Because for my husband and I, it started becoming very like, we're caregivers. Did you do this for dad? Did I do this for dad? Da 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 da. Okay, that's it. For my son, okay, hold on, son, wait a second. Let me take care of your grandpa first. It was very hard. And resentment, maybe a little bit of anger, like, why am I going through this? All that.
How did you get yourself out of those moments?
Man, I think my husband had to bring me down a level. This is where we are. He would tell me, this is where we are right now.
Go back to acceptance.
Yep. Why we're here, this is where we're at. This is how God wants where we're supposed to be with your dad. Our God chose us to take care of your dad. Snap out of it. It was hard truths because it also, played a part in how we were as a married couple.
Yeah.
It was, like you said, transactional.
Yeah.
The dates, there was none of that.
Everything just had to wait.
Everything was put on hold. And so there was a point where my husband really had to almost like shake me out of it, like snap out of it. This is where we are right now. We got to take care of your dad. We're taking care of your dad. So, we got to push through it. We got to look past the struggle because we're not alone, because we have our God. Right? So how can we, even through our worst moments, we have God. How can we go wrong? How can, you want to be ready to give up and you're questioning yourself, like, how can you keep taking care of your dad? But when you're forgetting is that we have God. And, my husband being a ministerial son, of course he's going to say those things. But it's so true. It's, you can't give up now. We've gone this far. You can't give up now.
Yeah.
Even though there are plenty of times I just was like, Dre, you need to come over here.
It's your brother.
And pick up dad. Because I'm tired.
Need a break.
I need a break.
I'm going to read you a post that you posted. I was stalking your Facebook.
That's okay.
This was a Mother's Day post, and Jerry and JoJo surprised you and took you to a restaurant that you had been wanting to go to.
Yeah.
And you said, it's easy to lose ourselves in the world of parenting and also throw in caring for your own parent, that when you look in the mirror, you hardly recognize who you are anymore. Well, at least for me.
I'm going to cry. Yeah, you just go through this cycle of when you're taking care of your parent, you're being a wife, you're being a mom, and then you're like, who am I? Like, I know I'm these things, but sometimes it's like you just find yourself kind of almost empty because you're giving.
Yeah.
You're giving.
You're just a shell. You're
just a shell, right? And you're pouring from an empty cup.
Yeah.
You're pouring from an empty whatever, but it's hard.
So how did you fill your cups on those days?
Oh, those days, I had to find myself taking a lot of deep breaths. Like, don't get mad at your dad because he's being stubborn. Don't raise your voice at your son because he just wants to spend time with you. And, he's doing it at a time where you're in the middle.
Just trying to catch your attention.
Catch my attention. Be patient, more patient with your husband who is willingly helping you take care of your father. Be forgiving with yourself. You're doing the best you can. I don't know how many times, dear Lou, where I had to say short little prayers. Like, God, please, today or right now, I just need a little bit more strength. Just a little teaspoon. Just a little teaspoon. I will take it. I will take whatever you can give me. I will take it. Just a little teaspoon. And
How do you think you could have gone through all of this if you didn't have the faith that you had and you had someone to turn to say, please just
angry,
take it from me? You'd be
angry, resentful, maybe even like, well, not really play a victim, but you don't know what I'm going through.
Mm.
You don't, none of you know, oh, it must be nice. Must be nice to go on vacation. Oh, it must be nice to do this. But thank God that I can go twice a week and get some food for my soul, get that medicine for my aching heart.
Mm.
I'm very thankful for that. It's always just that one or two verses where you're like, okay, I hear you, God. Okay.
That's for me.
That one was for me. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that in my notes because I do take notes when I'm at church, and I take notes. This is why I'm faithful to my God and I honor my God, because even at my ugliest moments, my hardest moments, He carried me even when I felt like I was dragging my feet. He gave me my husband to help me, give me that extra strength. He blessed me with my son because my son gives me the laughter that I need. Because there were times my son would be like, "You okay, Mom? You okay?" He would check in with me. He would check in and he would say, sometimes take me by my shoulders. "Mom, you're doing great.
Oh,
You're okay. Are you okay?" At that time, he was not 12, you're 10. You okay? I got a 10-year-old boy checking in on me.
I love how you said that at least you have a husband who's in the trenches with you. You have a son who checks in with you. And I think that's such an important thing for us to recognize. Attitude with gratitude is that when you are in the thick of things, no matter how hard or how ugly the situation is, but you knew enough to take the time to say, Lord, thank you for my husband, Jerry. Thank you for Jojo. And just recognizing these micro moments of blessings, because you could have ended up with a husband that wasn't so understanding.
You're on your own on that one. Just call me when dinner's ready.
Yeah.
Right. But no, he rode with me throughout the whole
How
thing.
important is that though for us? Because sometimes, when we're just going through stuff, sometimes our human mind just focuses on that one bad thing.
Oh, yeah. That's
and then
me.
we can't see the blessings anymore in anything. But why is that so important to stop and not just smell the flowers, but to stop and see, okay, where is God? The verse, the worst is never the worst. I love that verse, right? Why is it so important to stop and recognize where the blessings are, no matter how dark it may get?
You're not going to be happy. You're going to be an angry person if you don't take the time to, like, let me take a step back. Where am I going with this? Where does God want me to go with all this? God is taking care of me. God is taking care of me and my family. Like I said, I couldn't imagine what it would be like if I didn't have my God, my faith, because I would not be as gentle to myself, as understanding, really opening my heart to accepting certain things that I could no longer change. I honestly don't know how I would be without it. I don't, because at least I know every week, twice a week, I'm going to go to a place where I can sit down, meditate, and have a conversation with Him, with God. Everything. And I let everything out. And I talk like this. Listen, God, listen, I'm tired. I'm tired today. I don't want to cry. I'm just letting you know that.
Can you carry me, please, and give me a hug?
Please, that would be great. Thank you. Love you so much. But
there was something that you said that Jerry said that helped you snap out of it. He said, God chose us to care for your dad, right? And I thought that's so powerful because you get out of the victimhood, the woe is me.
I'm not gonna lie, I was almost there.
Yeah.
I was towing that line.
So why did that just flip a switch in your mind that God chose us to do this? What did that do to your psyche?
If anything, it made my heart And it humbled me. I will say that.
Tell me
Big
more.
humbled me because I'm thinking I'm the caregiver and I'm doing this. I'm doing wait.
You're the
Wait.
superhero in all of it.
Right? I want you to take care of your father. This is what God wants me to do. I sure am not going to try to fail, right? Because he entrusted in me to
This is
take
your
care.
assignment.
This is my assignment.
Yeah.
This phase in my life is what I'm meant to do right now. My husband and I, my son, my husband, all three. This is what my family is meant to go through right now.
I think it's really powerful when you said God gave you the honor to be able to take care of your dad. I mean, the verse says, honor your father and mother.
It's in the Bible.
Right?
It's in the Bible.
And it's the first commandment with a blessing added. And I think, I mean, you saying it gave me chills because it is true. It is the same way we were gifted and given to our parents for them to raise us, right? God chose them to be our parents, and now it's a different stage in life, and now we get to have the honor of taking care of them. And I think in the church, right, just with our values and our beliefs and our faith, and this is what we're taught all the time in worship service, right? We don't focus on the struggle. We focus on how is God building our character?
Right.
There's, God is a God of purpose. He's
Yes.
never like, well,
I'm
just
gonna
because.
give you this because I'm bored.
Yes, just because. There's
Right.
no such thing.
No.
There is always purpose in pain.
Yes.
Right? And so it's if we caregivers can think of it that way, those who are watching this, listening to this, and are in the thick of things and just want to give up, right? What would be your message to them?
I'm going to tell you what my husband told me and what I relate to my good friend that's out there, sitting out there behind that camera. We are helping our parents finish their course in the most peaceful and joyous way. And when my husband said that, the day that my dad passed, he was at the hospital bed and I was by myself, and I knew that that day it was going to be the day. I felt it in my bones. I held his hand, caressed his head, and I said, Dad, I know you don't got much time left. You have done your part. You have finished your race, and I'm here for you till the very end. A few hours later, get a call, and he closed his eyes, and that was it. So to those out there still taking care of your parents, more than just taking them to their doctor's appointments, and it's difficult when you are there changing their diaper, helping them take a shower. You see them slowly going. Know that God has blessed you with the honor of making sure that your parents are finishing their race in the most beautiful way, and that's with you. They are in your hands, and you give them as much as love as you can. This is now, I used to tell because my dad's not used to me saying, I love you. He'd be like, I love what? Love you. Okay. I love you, Dad. I love you. I tell him all the time, okay, Dad, I love you. Bye. Whatever you do, tell them you love them all the time, even when they're getting on you. You know what? Because this is not going to be forever.
Yeah. Like you said, the window's closing. Let's talk about anticipatory grief.
Yes.
Okay,
Let's do it.
So the definition of it, I don't have it with me, but it's just anticipating the grief that you're about to feel. And for those of us who have aging parents, even though they're not at their deathbed, right? The window's closing, like you said. We're already we're anticipating that we're going to feel the grief, but also we're already feeling the grief.
Yes.
You're grieving
Yes.
the parent you once knew, the strong dad you
Yes.
once knew, the strong mom you once knew, and then now the physical ailments. How did you deal with the anticipatory grief?
Oh man, with my dad, in the beginning, I was like crying a lot. Like, I could feel.
Mm.
But like I said, at the same time, knowing the life that he's led,
Mm.
also knowing the ailments he was currently going through, I was ready, girl. I was ready. Like, yeah, the grief is because I started thinking like
How long before do you think you were getting yourself mentally ready?
a month or so.
It's the
Actually,
end. You could-
2 months because my dad had fallen, and then that what led to everything else,
Yeah.
to him getting sick and all
Mhm.
that. I had to really sit down with myself and have
Yeah.
a conversation with myself. Like, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
How do we want his last few months, whatever small, because I felt it. There's some, I don't know how to explain it, but there are times when you're taking care of your aging parent and you see them slowly, their health is slowly
You
declining.
see the change.
You see the change
more rapidly.
way
Yes.
more rapidly. So your heart and your body, your soul, everything is like, here we go. This is
Yeah.
it.
You're bracing yourself.
You're bracing yourself. So all the more I told my dad, I love you. I held his hand more.
Mm.
I sat there more with him. So yeah, anticipatory grief. Did I say that right?
I think so. Sounds right.
It's gonna happen. It's there. It's painful. It's bittersweet. It's all that. But at the same time, let that also be a way for you to understand whatever time you got left with them, even if they're laying in bed and they can't get up no more. Because there was a time that my dad was getting to that. I just talk to them.
Mm.
Sometimes I was like, listen, remember when I told you so and so and so and so I didn't do it? I did. I'm just going to confess things now.
This is like from 20, 30 years ago.
So remember when I was 18? Yeah, nah, I did sneak out. I did. And I'm sorry, stuff like that. And I said, I'll say like, Dad, I'd also thank him. Thank you, Dad. And sometimes I'll even say sorry to him. Dad, I'm so sorry. I was impatient with you. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. We're impatient with each other. We're both old and you're taking care of me. And I'm ready to go. It's okay. We're okay. We forget, and then we forgive each other. We're stuck with each other. That's what he said. We forgive each other. I said, okay. I just want to make sure that we're good, Dad.
So there's no regrets in
There's
the end.
no regrets. And that was the one thing that I wanted to make sure that I was able to say some things to my dad, before, he was gone. And I was able to do that.
Now we're going to bring on the guy that held you up.
Oh boy, here we go.
The good hubby, Jerry. We're going to bring him on. And we're just so thankful that he agreed to come on, because I think a huge part of your story is the support you got from your husband.
Yes.
That he was able to shake you up and snap you out of it.
Yes.
And I think that, the spouses kind of, they don't get a lot of kudos for the support that they provide.
Sometimes you forget, like, oh, wait, I'm supposed to hug you. My bad. I love you. I'm sorry. Yes, you're the other person living with me. I sleep next to you, don't I? Okay, sorry. Love you.
Hey there, tired moms and tired dads of the sandwich generation. Are you running on fumes between kid chaos and parent care? Check out the Tired Moms podcast from Faith and Family. We've talked about everything from military wife life to geriatric pregnancy, all through the lens of faith. We have many episodes waiting for you to binge on whenever you need guidance or encouragement. Listen to the Tired Moms podcast from Faith and Family wherever you listen to podcasts.
So now we'd like to welcome to the table the beloved husband that you talked so highly about in our first segment. Jerry, welcome to Making Changes.
Thank you for having me.
When we were talking about doing this topic, and Bernie was the first person that came to mind, our producer, Dimple, said, you know what? It'd be nice to get a husband's perspective, which I thought was so good, because we hardly ever hear the spouse's perspective.
Yeah.
So thank you for just being cool and willing to talk about this. So Jerry, when your mother-in-law passed away and your wife decided, okay, we're bringing Dad home with us, everything had happened so quickly.
Yeah.
Was there any conversation? What was your reaction to, like, all of a sudden your whole lives just changed within hours? What was your reaction to that when she said, we're bringing Dad home, Jerry?
I mean, there was really no reaction. He needed some type of assistance. There was no question, just to accept him in the household,
And, not all spouses, though, we should say that, not all spouses would be okay with that.
Yeah.
It is your home, you're head of the household, but what kind of relationship did you have with your father-in-law that it was just, let's do this?
I had a good one with him, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known him since I was a child as well.
Before you even got together with Bernie.
Yes.
Bernie talked a lot about, you snapping her out of those difficult moments. But, being honest, how hard was it to see your wife struggle the way that she was struggling?
Oh, it was tough. Very tough. Yeah, I get emotional over it. I mean, to see her go from a strong wife, to basically become the sole caregiver for her dad. And just to see the transition of her happiness in the family just become more of a challenge. We take turns, just checking in with each other. But things just progress so fast.
What were your prayers like for her?
Oh, they were long, very honest. The best thing that you can do is just be honest with God. He'll truly tell you everything to say. He'll truly tell you how to act and how to feel, and to give the love and support that you need to. I'm very emotional at the moment because this is some of the first times that we've actually discussed it. And being vulnerable and letting people know that, the challenges of this world are very difficult when you don't have, help from your spouse or from the Lord to give you the direction that you need to. You get lost in your daily thoughts and your daily challenges. And the frustration, it encompasses mostly everything that happens on a daily basis.
It's so easy to fall into that, to just, we're human beings, obviously, we're going to feel the anger, the frustration, the disappointments. But having the faith that you both have, how were you able to ensure that neither of you stayed in that dark place too long? What was the pact that you made with each other?
Most of the time, we would have conversations after the worship service. The enlightenment that we got on those particular occasions. What did you hear today that strengthened you? What did you hear today that helped us? To share that with each other at the end of the service on our way home, and to share it with our son.
Yes. Checking in is important because we didn't do that for a while. In the midst
Just
of,
went through the motion.
we just went through the motions. And when you don't check in, especially we're going through these things, when you don't check in, it's bottled up inside and then becomes something ugly.
It gets big.
And it gets big when all of you had to do was like, are you cool? Are you good? Are you really good though? Sometimes you got to push a little bit like, are you good? Good. Because, or, okay.
But what if you're not ready for the answer? Because what if it's easy, yeah, I'm good, right?
Yeah.
But what if your spouse actually says, no, actually, I'm not good? How do you navigate that conversation if they say, I'm not good? How do you help them?
That's when you roll up your sleeves and be like, here we go, say it. What can I do to help? Or just put everything out on the table. Or sometimes you're like, I need some space right now. Let me take a moment. Because there are times when you do need that space, and your spouse has to respect that as well. Like, okay,
Not right now.
not right now. I'm here though when you're ready. And sometimes he'll just come up and hug me. And sometimes that's all you need. Like, okay, circle back. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes that hug, that touch is kind of like sometimes all you need. Like, okay, I'm cool. I'm good.
No
I'm
words
good.
needed.
Yeah.
No words needed. This is when you-
Invitation to pray.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Tell her more. Go ahead. You got the floor.
How does that look like? How does that start? How do you initiate? You know, she's at the height of it, and you just say, Bernie, let's pray.
Yeah, that's it. You do what God tells you to do, and you take control, and you change what needs to be changed.
Oh yeah, there are times like let's stop what we're doing. Stop. And there are times I'll catch him praying on his own because he's like, I need to pray before I talk to you.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Let's circle back then, because we need to talk to the big boss upstairs. It's like, boss, listen, my coworker,
Yeah, it's
No, your roommate.
my roommate I'm cohabitating with.
yeah, that's
okay.
the best thing about prayer is there is no quantity.
There's no quantity.
It's only quality.
Tell me, what do you mean by that?
God doesn't put a limit on how you speak to him.
How did prayer save your marriage during this time?
We're still here.
Yeah.
We are still here.
And you didn't have to pay for therapy.
We
Yeah.
didn't have to pray.
We
therapy.
did, but in a different way.
In a
It's emotional money.
right?
Emotional
I'm
currency.
paying in tears and I'm broke.
It's the worst kind of
But you know,
crypto.
but I am thankful for that. That there are times he does remind me, like, stop, time out.
What
You
do you
have
say
to.
when you're in the middle of bumping heads? How do you take a deep breath and how do you start that prayer?
You start by thanking God. You always thank. You know, whether you believe it or not, the challenge is always a test.
Mm.
And it's always, like they say, God will never give you more than you can handle. Even if you don't know what to say, you can just tell God, I don't know what to say, but I need your help.
Many times that when you don't know what to say, we're in the thick of it. But sometimes you just need his embrace, his ear.
You told Bernie, God chose us to take care of your dad. I mean, it sounds like such a simple phrase, but how did you come about? How did that come to mind to use those words to help her get out of her funk and to help her snap out of it?
Whether you look at it as suffering or as a test or a challenge, it's going to be something that is going to be difficult. And the only way that you can help someone understand that is by taking honor of what is given to you. There are nightmares that you hear
Yes.
of people giving their loved ones, improper care in care homes and
abuse.
stuff, and abuse and all kinds of things. And if you understand the fact of the truth of honoring your parents, it's not just respecting them, it's understanding that you need to lay them to rest to make sure that you're able to see them once again.
That's the truth.
Tell me about the type of love that you both not just gave to your dad, but the love and grace you gave for one another and to Jojo. What were the aha moments of love during this time in your life?
I think for me, when I saw my husband really take on that full role of when it came to taking care of my dad. One time, like my dad needed to have his nails cut, feet and hands. And I walk into the backyard and there's my husband. Feet too. And I'm like, that man loves me because he's cutting another man's toenails. Okay. Right?
I mean, it's a day to day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's situational.
Yes.
I mean, you have to you have to be an opportunist. You know, in the thick of things, you have to find that little breath where
Yes.
you're not in the thick of taking care of a parent.
There'll be times where we're in the car and he'll just reach over or I'll reach over and we'll just hold hands and he'll just give a little squeeze like, look,
I got you.
I got you. Right? The caress of the back. Got you. You know,
You're not alone.
not alone. The look across from the room when you're just like, oh, I'm going to lose it. The look like, you're okay. I got you.
Those are the acts of love that go deep.
They do. Like there are a lot we don't say, but the touch, like I always say.
So you don't need to go on fancy dates and all of that stuff.
No. We go to, one time he said to me, we're at Costco. He turns to me and he's like, I am having so much fun with you.
Which aisle were you on?
Right? And I'm like, you know what? Let's go get some hot dog. Right? But it's like, that's how it is. Like you're just enjoying each other's company in the midst of chaos. We find the time, even the most smallest times, to let each other know, like, I love you. I got you. We're in this together. We're in the trenches. It's hard. Yesterday, I wasn't too happy with you, but
Today's a new day.
Today's a new day. Because that's how marriage is, right? There are days I'm like, I can't.
Thank you for tuning in to Making Changes. We're so grateful to have you on this journey of growth and transformation. Let us know what topics you'd love to hear, whether it's spiritual growth, navigating life transitions, or deepening your faith. Your feedback helps shape our conversations. And if the show has inspired you, subscribe and leave us a review. Your support helps us continue bringing uplifting conversations that empower change from the inside out. Let's grow together. Drop us a topic suggestion and hit that subscribe button today. Jerry, what did you learn about Bernie? And Bernie, what did you learn about Jerry that you didn't know had it not been for this experience?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, I'm not really stumped, but it's just a great question. Yeah. I mean, the openness to see how your spouse to just delve into whatever task is in front of her. You don't work with your spouse, so you don't know what they're capable of.
Yes.
You know what your spouse is capable of in the home. But when you see the organization and you see, the expansion.
Multitasking.
Yes. Yeah, you become, a lot more appreciative to see, wow, she really took on this task and was able to still fulfill her duties, in the church as a mother and as a wife.
I want to say, too, that during this whole ordeal, you both still performed your church duties.
Oh, yeah. I was never going to change.
This wasn't an excuse to be, I need to take a break.
Yes.
No, never.
Yeah.
Why was that so important for you guys to keep those duties? Because it would have been easier to just I need a break. I can't do it all.
You know that your real safe place is the house of worship, where you can say anything and you can hear anything. I mean, you don't know what you're going to hear when you come to the worship service. but that it's going to be something that's powerful, and beneficial.
I think with him, as far as like going back to the question of noticing, changes, he is, in the beginning, he was a little bit impatient, but dealing with me, his level of patience really was like he was really there for me. And there are times I can be very difficult. I'll put that out there. I'm not going to deny it. But he knew how to bring me down. He knew how to snap me out of it, like the time that I just told you. Like really, like, this is going to be hard to hear, but you need to stop. The way he was there for me emotionally while I was taking care of my dad, the way he just took on that duty with me to help take care of my dad, no complaints. That's love. Like, he did not ask for anything. And, well, since I took care of your dad, like, well, I'm going to get to blah, 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 blah. It wasn't like that.
It wasn't tit for tat.
No, it was we. It was us. And I'll always be grateful for that. Where we left off, or now we're different people because, we took care of our dad. And then that also makes you realize, oh, shoot, we have a small window with each other. How are we going to spend the rest of that time with each other?
What would your advice be, though, for those who may, as a couple, as a married couple, they just aren't, they're still trying to find their way and, don't know how to communicate in a way where they will feel like a team?
First, they'll most definitely have to unite in prayer, and unite in spirit, because if you are in a different frame of mind and you're not in the same spirit as your spouse, then, it's naturally not going to be, an even playing field. Not to say one has stronger faith than the other, but one may know how to recognize that they need stronger faith than the other.
And help the other one up.
Because it's like not going to be forever. You're not going to be, their health is slowly declining. Right? So
small window.
What are you going to do with that small window?
Yeah. So, Jerry, both your parents are still with you. And how has going through what you went through with your father-in-law, I don't know if the word prepare is the right word, but how has that then given you insight when it'll be your parents? I know with me, Jason's parents both had gotten sick, had passed away. And so now I feel like the experiences we had with his parents is helping me now with my parents.
Every challenge is going to be different. The situation that you had with your in-laws are going to be completely different of any type of feeling or any, I guess you can call it false preparation, because you have no idea what you're preparing for.
You don't know what illness they're going to get. And that's so true.
Yeah.
That's
You
so
just
true.
know to read the signs. My dad is already, in his 80s. So, he's had health issues already. So we're constantly, watching him already. He just hasn't gotten to the point where, he needs assistance. Thank God he's still able to perform his duties and preach.
Can you tell the story that you told us in the pre-interview about JoJo?
We went on a mom and son date. I don't know what it was, but I was super giddy and excited. Like, if I was going to go on a legit date, I'm like, oh, my hair needs to look good. Like, I need to look cool. I can't look like a mom.
And how old is JoJo now?
He is 12. He is 12.
12 going on 30, but go ahead.
Exactly. So we go out and I'm super excited. And as we're driving around looking for parking, he starts seeing his friends. Like, oh, there's so-and-so. And I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to, like, do I need to hide? Do I need to hide? Wasn't like that at all. As a matter of fact, he was quite a gentleman. Like, when, on our way to where we were going to eat, we were crossing the street. He put his arm out, make sure that he looks both ways.
okay, let's go, Mom. And he'll take my hand. That's the only time he'll hold my hand is when we're crossing the street to make sure I'm good. Not because I'm holding Mommy's hand. It's like, come on, Mom, let's go.
He's your protector.
And, he pulled a chair for me. He wanted to order for me. It was quite the opposite of what I thought it was going to be, hanging out with a 12-year-old boy. I realized that I haven't had this moment with him for a few years because I was busy taking care of my dad. And I'm trying not to get emotional over pizza as we're sitting there. It was a very different space for me when we went out that day because he was comfortable enough, even though all this stuff had happened. And the thing is, he started off with, so Mom, how are you doing?
Oh, wow.
And he does that a lot. How are you? He checks in, which is, he's like...
He's high emotional IQ. He has high EQ. He's so connected with his feelings and yours.
Yes. And, we talk about that a lot.
You guys did good as parents.
I hope so. It's one of those things where his emotional intelligence is pretty good because, we're sitting there and he was telling me about, cute girls and stuff like that. And inside I'm trying, I'm screaming because I'm like, okay, we're here already. We're talking about girls. But at the same time, he felt comfortable enough to have an open conversation with me. And he'll even ask me sometimes, do you miss Grandpa? I miss Grandpa too. Because, when my dad moved in with us, my son would be like, okay, I'm going to go to Grandpa's room. I'm going to go keep him company and sit there and watch. And so he was there for it all. And not once did that boy ever made us feel like, you're not paying attention to me. You're just paying attention to Grandpa. It was never like that. What can I do to help, Mom?
Wow.
Can I do that? Hey, Grandpa, how you doing? You good? 49ers are going to win, even though you like the Cowboys. There was that passive aggressive going on in the house. But, it was that moment sitting there with my son, having to realize, man, he's not this young little boy anymore. I hope it goes on forever because, I know that, as they're teenagers, they get a little bit, I don't want to tell that to my mom and dad, but as long as Jerry and I continue to create that open space, safe space for him to know that
You're there for him.
We're here. We'll say whatever you want.
So we started our interview by me showing you a picture from 28 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And look how fast time flew.
Yeah.
Which means the next 20 plus years can go just like that as well. Jojo saw how you both took care of your dad and how you're taking care of your parents. How are you hoping that what the example you showed for him, how he's going to now implement that when it's his turn to take care of you both?
Wow. I think he already sees, the drive that we had to take care of his grandfather and grandmother. And I would hope that he would just have the same drive to take care of his parents because, we're right around the corner.
We're in our 50s, guys. Let's face it.
Right?
Yeah.
In 20 years, we're going to be over 70.
Yeah, he's been really good because I see he'll say are you okay, Dad?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Do you need hot water? Mom, are
he
you
starts
okay?
checking in.
Are you having your stomach cramps? Do you need chips?
Yeah.
Right?
He has no idea, but he knows that Mom is not feeling well.
It's stuff like
you guys
that.
did good. I'm telling you.
I try.
That's not by coincidence. That's God's blessing to you both.
Thank God for that.
Definitely.
Thank you, God, for that.
Yes.
And I think, I know Jason and I talk about this too, is that, both our kids have seen how we took care of his parents and now they're seeing me take care of my parents. And we're hoping that in the midst of, my dad would always tell us, it's not about your circumstance, it's the response. Right. And so with my dad, with his dementia, he gets anointed every week. And so they're seeing that even though technically textbook dementia should look like this, my dad's not like that. the doctor says, oh, is he violent? Is he irritable? We're like, no, he's actually more jokey now than he was before. And so we're hoping that as our kids are seeing these things with our parents, that it's leaving something in their heart.
Yes.
That when it's their turn to honor their father and mother, although we won't put pressure on our kids like that, like
Right.
you got to take care of me, right? We're hoping that we've taught them that to want to do
Yes.
that.
My son would always say, Mom, don't worry. I won't live with you, but I'll live next door to you. Because I know one day I may have to carry you. When he said that, girl, I knew that Jerry and I are going to be okay. Jerry and I are going to be okay. I would never put anything on my son where I'm like, you need to take care of it. Not like that, because I want him to see him thrive. But for him to openly, willingly, no coaching, say, I'm going to live next to you because I know one day I'm going to have to take care of you. I'm good. I know I'm going to be okay. My son is very prayerful. My son loves listening to the lessons. He'll regurgitate things that he's learned in the children's worship service. He'll regurgitate things that he's learned in the adult worship service because he's about to get baptized. So I know that we both know he listens to what he's being taught, not just through us, but through the lessons at church, and he's applying it. And I know he will always apply that.
The show is called Making Changes. What would you say after what you've been through? How does change, no matter how painful, at the end of the day, the Bible is right. For those who love God, everything works for the good. In hindsight, what would you say the purpose was to the pain and struggle that you went through?
I mean, to just really make sure that we have the faith that we truly say we have. Just to know that we're able to have the challenge that came to us and come out through the test, and know that the change in us was the strength that we needed. That's probably the only thing that I can think is we needed more strength.
Strength, courage, patience as a couple, as parents, as children to our parents, learning to just lean into it, give yourself some grace. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough, but you're here for a reason. This is what God has given you, whatever that may be, taking care of your parents, taking care of even, taking care of your loved one, each other. Not going to be easy. It's going to get ugly. It's supposed to get ugly, But how, like what your father said, it's the response. How am I going to respond to this?
Complete the sentence. Change is.
Ooh. Change is rapid fire. She did rapid fire on me, guys. She did rapid fire. Acceptance. Change is.
I would say submission.
Tell me more. What do you mean?
To submit to the task that you were given and to overcome that. Because if all of our strength comes from God and we don't submit to the fact that God put us through this change, there's no way to come out on a better side.
If you're fighting
Yes.
it.
If you're fighting.
Everything is tested through pressure, through fire, and through everything. You know?
That's how we really realize how much we need God.
Yes.
Because if everything was so easy, what would we need him for?
Right. I mean, we've gone, even after, my father had passed away, we still have gone through challenges, but we look at each other and we're like, we got this. We just went through 4 or 5 years of challenges. This, we got this.
It's easy.
It's easy.
now. Yeah.
Easy in a sense, like I know I got God.
Yeah.
I know I have someone to talk to. We got each other to talk to. We got this.
And he has shown you that he was there
Yes.
for you.
Time and time again, every single time, without fail. So how can I be afraid? How can I be hesitant to, well, this is going to be hard. It's going to be painful. It's going to be challenging. But I'm not alone. I know who I can turn to. And I'm going to be all right.
It's been 6 months, 8 months since your dad has passed away, and you're just now kind of getting back into the swing of things. And like Jerry said, you guys have never really talked about it till now.
Till now, yeah.
What would you like to say to each other? You got to look at him, Bernie.
Oh, my love. I wouldn't change anything. I accept everything that God has given us. Whether we thought it was a struggle, it was all love. It was all faith. And it was all in hope that we would do the right thing. And God showed us that we did. Because your dad was able to rest in the way that he was wanting to finish his course. Although he didn't get to finish his course performing his duty, he was able to still serve God till his last breath. And I thank you for showing me that you can be someone different than even I couldn't even imagine. And I love you so much.
I love you too. Thank you for being my rock. Thank you for snapping me out of the times, the most difficult times, the times where I felt like we were almost against each other, but we weren't.
Yes.
I'm thankful that you were super patient with me the way you took care of my dad. The way you took care of my dad, unconditionally, with no complaint. The way you were with him meant so much to me, the way you cared for him. And I thank you for that. I thank you for that. Thank you for loving me, even in my most difficult of times, for helping me also realize there are things about me that I need to recognize, that there are good parts of me, right? And you always make me feel special. You always make me feel loved, even at my most worst moments. I thank you so much for that. You know, you are my rock, my ride or die, my road dog. Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you too.
Who was it, brother? Aliu?
And thank you, Alio, for making us.
Aliu?
But in all honesty, guys, thank you so much. You have no idea how many families you're going to help by sharing you've helped me.
Yeah.
You've helped me.
I'm glad.
I'm going to go home and hug both my mom and dad today
Yes.
and to just thank God, for this chance.
Yes.
Because
Thank
it
you.
is an honor to care for them,
Yes.
It is.
for God choosing us to care for our parents, to help them finish the race.
Yes.
Every breath is different. This breath will be different than your next breath. So use your next breath to tell them you love them.
Yes.
Tell your family that you love them.
Yes.
And tell God that you love him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And go out and have a date after this, because
We
y'all
will.
deserve it.
I didn't do all this. Things are tight and patted down. We must do something.
The cute outfit. Don't let it get away. Bernie and Jerry's story shows us that caring for aging parents isn't just a duty. It's discovering love, patience, and faith we never knew we had. So even when we feel overwhelmed and lost, God is shaping us into exactly who we need to be. Now, if you're in the sandwich generation or facing your own difficult season, remember, God chose you for this assignment and will give you strength to see it through. If you found value in what you heard today, Share this with someone who needs to hear that they're not alone in their struggles. For more Making Changes podcasts, visit incmedia.org, the INC Media app, or find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thanks for listening, and may your change uplift you.